What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Recently, Charleston White went on a rant about, you guessed it, the Passport Bros. And of course, the Passport Bros are not without their own controversy, all right? And I'm gonna just get quickly to the point of what Charleston White had to say about the Passport Bro community. Let's go ahead and play that clip.
Tell you something. I think Passport Bros. I think the Passport Bros. I think those are so have to go out the country to go get abroad. You a them ain't nothing but down low for men that play footsies with each other. Man, this a thing right here. Okay, it stand like this. Man, why the motherfucker don't stand like that? Yeah.
So guys, that's what he had to say, right? But I want to talk about another individual, who I have talked to, been very familiar with in about the last year. It's Mr. Austin Holloman, all right? Now, he is not without his own controversy, but I want you to hear what he said about certain brothers in the Passport Bro community. Let's play that clip.
Why do I say that everybody, Passport Bros is kind of like it's a football team, right? If one person is playing wrong, the whole team looks bad. Okay? Let me turn off the chat. So if one person is playing wrong, the whole team looks bad. And the leader, which I never claimed to be, but the so-called leader or the football coach, if the team loses, that falls on him because he's the leader. And I say that because you got some dudes in the DR and people that are trying to become content creators in Pattaya and these other sex worker hotspots of the world, and they're getting online and they are filming. And I've said this before, a lot of these dudes are promoting sex workers and telling you that they're regular women, and a lot of y'all are being fooled. Seriously, a lot of y'all are being fooled. Y'all think that these dudes got these fit, feminine, submissive women and they're paying for them. And it kind of makes it hard whenever you got American women or other critics that come through and say that we're going over here paying workers. When, to be honest, there's a few of y'all that are claiming Passport Bros, and I did not start Passport Bros. Let me make sure that's clear. There are a few of y'all that are claiming Passport Bros that are going overseas strictly just to pay. And hey, that's fine. You can do that. But I'm not doing that. And actually, back in January, Zoda Barber told me something. He said that he doesn't claim that because, and I knew this made sense when he said it, because it lumps everybody all in one thing. It lumps everybody so if he does something or if I do something, we all get thrown in the same umbrella. And there's a lot of stuff that you guys are doing that I don't even think about doing. There's a lot of clowns joining and claiming the whole Passport Bro label, and they're doing clown shit. They have no home training when they go overseas. A lot of y'all have no home training at all. And y'all go to these other countries and you're going to end up getting killed, acting a fool, thinking you can talk shit about the people, thinking that you can be aggressive with people in areas that you really don't know where you at. The governments are run completely different in most countries, especially over here in Asia. In South and Central America, those are democracies just like America. They might be corrupt, but they're still democracies. But here in Asia, you have monarchies. They're constitutional monarchies, from my understanding, but that's still a monarchy. You have communism. And yeah, no, that's not flying in those societies. A lot of the ways y'all behave is not flying that way. And believe it or not, I may talk a lot. I may say a lot of crazy stuff when I'm responding to people. I don't just talk like that all the time. Anybody that knows me personally knows I just don't sit around and just, I'm talking about something that happened in particular. If you hear me badmouthing somebody, I just know how to act. Let's just say that. I know how to act overseas.
So guys, you've heard what they both had to say. Now, of course, we know that Charleston White, he tends to go overboard. So, you know, passport bros are a bunch of men that play footsie or something like that. It's a good sound bite, but we all know that it doesn't make sense. It's not practical, right? No man goes across the seas to look for a feminine woman to get with guys and play footsies with them when they could, if that was the case, easily do that in the United States. But what I want to do is kind of contrast that to what Mr. Austin Holloman is saying about the passport bros, which is there are a lot of problems that these guys allegedly are causing when they are coming to the country. And the one thing that I can hear between Austin Holloman, who's been hanging out with the passport bros all over the world, all over Asia, Brazil, and Charleston White, what you hear in conjunction with both arguments is that these guys lack social skills. Some of them, most of them, or I don't know how many percentage of them, that some of these guys are having the same problems they had in the States overseas, which would indicate, and I don't know, I'm gonna get crucified for this, and I've seen this even in the Pan-African community for those blacks who are repatriating to Africa, that a lot of the people that I see coming to Africa from the States wanting to get away from the system and the white man, here's what happens with some of the people. I'm not saying all. They really didn't work on themselves before coming over to said country. And they're looking at said country they're going to go to, whether it be Thailand or Brazil and the Philippines, whatever you can call it. They have not, developed themselves to a point where they're going to be, performing better in these new places. And so some of the brothers in the passport bros, I heard Ed Travels refer to some brothers as passport pookies, which is what not that he made that up. So that's becoming sort of a stigma with some of the passport bros. And Austin Holloman had his own issue in Brazil. That's becoming sort of an issue. So what we're seeing now is some infighting between, from what I understand, some of the passport bro communities, which is, is going to happen in any community. But overall, what I would say is this. Enough is not being said about the guys who don't have issues. We're not talking about them. And when we try to group them all into the same box, like Charleston White, who's probably never been out of the United States before, to call them or to call them, just because you have to go outside of the country to get somebody else. I mean, you think about it. People, let's use that same argument with immigrants in the United States. People who come to the United States looking for opportunities, do we call them names? No, right? If whenever you're somebody coming to get an opportunity from something in the States, you're gonna have an issue. Even Charleston White himself admitted that he felt that Latino women were in some cases easier to deal with than black women. But it's a problem if these same men say, okay, let me go to the origin of where these Latin women are from and deal with them over there. Now all of a sudden they're are they're down low. Those arguments don't really make sense. Again, it just says like the guy says some smart things, but some things that don't really make a whole lot of sense. And so now he's talking about something that just don't make no sense. It's not practical what he's talking about. And very entertaining guy, but it's not well thought out. A lot of passport bros are going to somebody else's country, not getting into any trouble, doing their thing. I know some of the brothers that live in Africa. They have a small business or trying to start a business. They had excellent credit in the United States. Some of them were in the military. And they're just, I know one brother, shout out to the brother, unless he wants me to call him. I know one brother that went to UCLA, living in Poland, doing very well in Poland. So What is that? Like that energy, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But if you're the same guy that says, well, you know what? These guys are doing better if they're in the States. But I have noticed, and I will be honest, and I'll tell you personally why I didn't want to go to where some of the hubs were. The DR, Colombia. I don't know so much about Thailand. Thailand has just now become more popular. But you had Colombia, Dominican Republic, and Brazil. I knew enough about those communities where I felt like the inside information that I had on Scoop, and I had been to Brazil, that the guys that were there were not productive enough. And there was a lot of infighting in the groups that didn't lead anywhere. That's what I was told. I was told that by even Mr. Charles Tyler himself when he was living, because we talked quite often. He told me some of the things that was going on there. So I said, okay, it's better for me to just go, to Africa. So that element was there. Not to say it was all the element that was there, but now what we're seeing is the Passport Bros, they are getting a lot of guys that are just not, from what I can understand, some guys that are not really professional guys. Some guys who are just, didn't really do very well in America and coming over there. And some of the guys that had issues that they didn't get rid of, bad habits in the States, and just thought like a new environment was going to change that. And then to come to find out that the new environment didn't change that. It just allowed them to even get worse or to be disrespectful to the culture. This is not everybody, but I've seen this with certain guys. Like I said, there's one guy I just see every video. The dude is just like, he got some girl's butt in the thumbnail, walking around with the girl's butt everywhere. And I'm thinking to myself, like, bro, this doesn't look so good, man. Like, it looks terrible. And so when you see stuff like that, you don't want to really associate yourself with something like that. But again, I get it. Not everybody's the same. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.